Alrighty guys, up to this point I haven't really done a video of this project, and basically what I'm going to be attempting to do here, if I fail miserably you guys will never see this, but I want to make a mid-mount grader blade for on my Gravely riders, and you guys have seen the tractor pulling videos, and I think a mid-mount blade up at the club would cut out a lot of the whoops we end up getting in the track and stuff. So since I can't find an actual mid-mount blade that'll go on a 800, 8000, 400, I can't even find any of the other ones, I'm going to make one. I have a metric crap ton of these walk-behind blades. So I decided to pick this one. A is it's an ugly color, and B is it has these bolt-on brackets. So my initial thought and plan is, I think you guys can see the mark I have scribed across here. It's 6 inches from the top to the bottom, and that's highly engineered so that way I have about 3 inches of lift is what I figured on this. And what's the worst thing happen? I gotta cut it a little bit shorter, but my theory is this: I'm gonna drill holes and bolt this like so, and then I'll put a bolt and a spacer in the center, and I can make this angle from left to right, hopefully. And we'll just see how this works out. And I can even just bolt it on instead of welding it. Now if this don't work, then I'll just huck this bracket to the side and we'll just weld it solid. But for now, that's the idea I want to go with. Because a Gravely blade will actually turn, but the Gravely blade you can actually do it from the seat. It has a handle, much like the snow plows on the left. Angle it out and then pull it forward and back to change the angle. So we're going to give this the old college try and see what happens. So I got a lot of cutting to do here. I'm not going to bring you guys along for that, but just know I'm going to be cutting on this for a while. Because this blade is probably 3/8 of an inch thick. I bought 10 cutoff wheels. Now if I had a buddy that had a plasma cutter, this would be so nice, but I don't. So anyhow, I'm going to get to grinding. I'm sure I'm going to be grinding on this for a little while. Maybe not as long as I think. And we'll see what happens. The worst thing that happens is I just cut the cutting edge off a blade. I'll spin the blade around and put the cutting edge on the bottom. It'll be a hair shorter. What are you going to do? So anyhow, here we go. And I got the 430 out here to mock this up. It's actually going to go on in parts and pieces here, which you guys have seen a video of. I ordered a fuel pump for that and the 12G. So I'll be done, and that's what's going up to the tractor club. So here we go. I'll show you guys the finished results. So it looks like a thing of beauty. This is just, we'll call this Mach 1. Because due to some slight miscalculations, in order for this thing to angle, these bolts here are going to have to disappear. So what I'm going to do is I want to get some, I believe they're called stove head bolts, but basically so they're countersunk or almost flush. And we can move this thing side to side. And I found a piece of pipe that fits in here pretty snug. And I got a long 1/2 inch bolt in it right now just holding it. So it should in theory be fairly straight, although to me it looks like it's angled one way, but you know. So I'm gonna stick this thing on this tractor for curiosity's sake and just see if the thing I've created will go underneath here and kind of work the way I want it to. I have no idea yet. So anyhow, here we go. So guys, it seems like it'll work. So I think I'm gonna find my hat. I think you guys can see my hairdo going on here in the shadow. And I'm gonna get the tripod, and I may go test this out even without the tripod. This this tractor has one junk front tire on it, so just gonna go and find a place to mess with this and just kind of see what it does off camera, and then I'll bring you guys back for really trying it. Sweet. I think that works pretty decent. So I figured out why the 69-430 wasn't easy to get in reverse. This pivot up here was seized, and the collar that the spring rides on was not on the shifter. But when I started trying to break it loose, it just broke. Well, it goes in reverse now. I put another arm on it and adjusted it. What are you gonna do? Win some, you lose some. But it works good in the end. So, it's kind of like a lose-win situation. Whatever. So, I got this so that it'll angle, but after I did that, I had this epiphany, like, I probably ought to put it back on the tractor and make sure it actually touches the ground the whole way across. Because right now I have the A-frame locked solid with these two bolts. Originally I was going to take these out so it would spin the whole way over and the original lock hole would line up, but if I can get this to work, what I'll do is there'll just be a separate hole for like when you angle it to the left or when you angle it to the right. What I was going to do is just put the hole in here, and when I angle it to this side, put a hole in here. Is it going to be more of a pain? Yeah. But for this custom application, I think it'll work out okay. And you're going to say, Steve, well, why didn't you mount it back further? Well, if you mount it back any further, there's no material left, basically. Could I have made an extra long plate in there? Sure. So, I don't know. You'll try my best here. Just come up with something that'll work here off the wall without spending a whole pile of money. So far, I have not spent any money on this project except for the grinder wheels and maybe a drill bit I burned up. So, I'm going to stick this back underneath here, pick it up, angle it side to side, see how it hits. If I got to take these lock bolts back out, I got to take them back out, you know, it's whatever. I put them in there because that way I could put down pressure on it and the A-frame wouldn't pivot down. But if that's what I need to do for it to angle and actually sit on the ground level, then guess what? That's what I'm going to have to do. So, alright. I think I'm going to stick my lock bolt back in it just so it doesn't swing around and pinch my fingers or something. I'm going to stick it back on here and see if it'll hit level with an angled, or if it's going to be like one side is, like the tip side is going to be hitting way first, which might be okay if you're trying to cut a ditch or something. So, I don't know. I just have to look at this. So, kind of as I suspected there with lock bolts in the A-frame, I'm going to try taking them out. And also on a side note, I'm glad I didn't put that any further back because there is not a whole lot of room in there. Like if you put chains on that, that baby's going to hit. Well, let me see if I can get this to sit level first before I even worry about this. I haven't even drilled the side-to-side holes. Just want to see if it'll work. The worst thing happens is I can't get it to be level side to side. I'll just put it straight ahead. I'll lock the bolts down in it, and guess what? It'll be straight ahead. Because even if it angles, you know, like that much, it'll roll the dirt off to this side. It's kind of hard to tell here because this spot in the ground isn't real level either. So, I don't know. But, regardless, I'm going to take them lock bolts I got in the A-frame out, and then we'll see what she does. So, while I was using the 69-430, this tire over here I knew was junk from the get-go, it wouldn't hold air. And while I was using it after changing that tire, this tire started to peel apart but had a tube in it. So here was the right front tire I took off. It had a hole in it here, and I was using it some while it was totally peeled apart, so that made that worse. This tire over here, this tire is pretty interesting. I've seen this one or two other times where the tread just peels apart. So yeah, amazing how well a tube will hold a tire together when it shouldn't be together. So, but I was beating on it pretty good. I was down the bottom. I was actually grading out the bottom of my pond because it's pretty empty right now. And I realized how high the weeds are down there too. So I got to take either the 8163B or maybe I'll fire up the 817. I haven't had it running. I put the deck on it in the spring, and then that's been it. I just haven't had time to monkey with it. So yeah, take it down there and run it. Put some gas in it, see if it'll crank up. I think I need to change the wool on this. I don't remember. Heck, I got so many tractors now I can't remember. See if Gravedigger will turn over now. It's battery chargers on it. I actually wanted to get to the 51L this afternoon, but just don't seem like that's going to happen. And I want to put front wheel weights on this if this goes up to the tractor club. So, because I'll just tell you this much, it's pretty light in the front end. I kind of want to try this on a hydraulic lift tractor too. I mean, I could take the deck off the 817 and try it. The 817 I would not take up to the tractor club though. It's too persnickety. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyhow, I'm gonna move some stuff around here. I think I'm done with this. I think, for right now. Park it and get something else running, and I'm gonna go mow. If it wasn't for the snakes and stuff down on the bottom, I'd just use a walk behind because I have a couple of those running right now. But I use a riding tractor down there just because. So anyhow, let me get something fired up here. I think I kind of want to use the 817.